Yo, everyone! We are here with the Into the Wild League. This is week 5. We are finishing up, and we are going to have a fantastic match today. We have Craig of Canada fighting Mike Lowe. I am Rod Johnson, and with me today is Looney One. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty well, Rod. Really excited to watch this match play out.
Yep, I am very excited. These guys are always entertaining, and it's good to see some good Hearthstone going this afternoon. So, okay, ready, cool.
You want to let them know we're ready, or
Yeah, I told them we're ready. So let's go over the rules real quick. Okay, so the Into the Wild League is as follows. Every week, the player is going to choose 3 classes. The next week, they are not going to have access to those 3 classes. They're going to have to pick from 3 from the remaining. And then the final week, they have the last 3 classes. There are no bans. There are no any other kind of restrictions. Every other week, we are having deck building challenges. But there are no deck building challenges this week. So we are just doing the straight up decks. So,
and I have seen Craig's decks beforehand. He's playing a Control Warrior. It looks like Taylor Eve Shutterwalk Shaman, and then a Tempo Aggro style Paladin. I do not know what Mike Lowe's playing at all.
well, he'll bring something spicy because he usually does. So it should be interesting to see what these guys do.
Oh yeah, are we going to see an Alarma bot? You think?
I am sure there will be an Alarma bot. Mike Lowe loves. He was playing Alarma bots in the UHL last season in like Hunter and stuff. So it will be interesting to see what happens with these two. I told him we're ready, so whenever these two get going, we can get back into the game. And we look like we're going to start off with game 1 here.
All right, it's queuing up.
So Craig is queuing up his Paladin, and Mike has brought a Rogue. And it's not an Odd Rogue, and it's not a Kingsbane Rogue, it doesn't look like.
No.
And it looks like...
He's got a Loot Hoarder, so maybe some kind of Death Rattle?
Yeah, maybe. There's the good old Lothab is in there also. So I'll be interested to see what is in the rest of this list. And Craig has a more kind of mech version of Paladin.
Oh, I'm locked up then because it isn't even showing on my screen.
Yeah, the game just... Oh, there it goes.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see. I do like these good stuff Paladin lists that don't like restrict themselves to only playing.
All right, Mike's playing an Academic Espionage as well.
Yes, he is. This is an interesting card. I was watching Tice play a Academic Espionage at High Legend in like on Standard earlier today, and it seemed kind of insane. But he was getting killed by Control Warriors. So that card is really powerful, but it could also really tank hard if you get bad luck, like I would. So.
He's got a couple options. He can Hero Powder, or he can play the Loot Hoarder on curve.
I had the checks on from the game I did last night still. So Mike has not won 3 games. Okay, that's all fixed now, so we're good. It'll be interesting because Mike also has the Sonya in here. This list is kind of spicy, man. He's got the Loot Hoarder to draw through, and then he's going to fill his deck with a bunch of 1-cost minions. Or 1-cost cards, I should say. It's when you combine the Academic Espionage with the Elic, you could do some crazy stuff, man.
You can put 20 in.
Yep.
Or is it 3 times?
No, it's twice, so it's 20 per version, but like Tice's version he was running in Standard, he was playing Myra's, and then he played it the Elic and 2 Academic Espionages with a prep. So he put 40 cards into his deck doing that. It was kind of crazy.
Craig's going to clean up the board and push 1 to face.
Yep. And
now here's where that
go
fan
ahead.
of knives will come in handy.
Yeah, it's it's pretty useful at this point. And also, Mike doesn't really have much else to do anyways. He could play the Fox. You have to start worrying about the Paladin buffing up their 1/1s later on, so maybe he saves that Fan of Knives. I actually kind of like just him putting down the Blink Fox and using this Fan of Knives a little bit later just to get more value out of it. It's only 4 damage, but the problem with Rogue is that you really don't often have any way to gain life back, so maybe he wants to preserve his life total and just Fan of Knives now.
There is the weapon that they have. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but every time you play a card from another class, it gets 1 more durability, and that has lifesteal.
Yeah, and it might be really kind of a good card for this deck with the academic espionage, you know. So, but we haven't seen Mike's list, so we're kind of guessing, right?
Yes, I do not know what's in his list at all. So it looks like Craig's setting up possibly to play that Rallying Blade next turn and buff up some.
Yeah, he's gotten a pretty dangerous,
especially if he clears.
Yeah, and he's done that and kind of taken any advantage of playing that Fan of Knives because he cleaned up his 1/1s. He's not concerned about his 1/1s. He's here to play some mechs and build some mechs up. So
Mike really doesn't have a lot of options.
Yeah, he's only got these 2 options. I mean, Mike, what does he do? I mean, he's got the Loot Hoarder. He can maybe Loot Hoarder. I don't know, man. I don't know what I...
Hero Power, one of the Divine Shields.
Yeah.
If he's thinking about the Rallying Blade at all.
Yeah.
Possibly the Hallucination.
The Hallucination's not bad. I don't know if he just Fan of Knives to get rid of those Divine Shields. I don't know. And it looks like he's going to go with the Hallucination here. Into the Coliseum, I think is what he takes, especially with this board building up. Yep, and he does.
Now, will he Fan of Knives? No. He's going to play Coghammer? No.
I don't like the Coghammer without some kind of minion on the board because the Coghammer...
That is... Okay, there's a good play. Yeah. That way that prevents the Rallying Blade. Even though he doesn't know that's on the other side, you have to always be thinking about that when you're playing a Paladin.
Yeah, it's that... It just provides such extra, value. And Mike's going to be really, really happy now seeing that Rallying... Yeah.
So Craig continues to push the damage.
Yeah, Mike's got this Mistress of Mixtures in his hand, which is gonna give some life back, but man, he's got no board presence. I don't even know. Does he play the Mistress of Mixtures and then the Coghammer to like delay and kind of get some life back?
I mean, I don't know what minions he's got and why he's running the Elven Minstrel. I don't know if he needs to draw them or save that for later after he shuffles.
I don't know.
With the academic espionage.
This looks like a janky deck. I like the flavor of it, but he's getting run into with a bunch of really, really strong early game by the Craig's Paladin. So he's not going to get time to really develop and do what he wants to do, it looks like.
No, it's definitely not a time to try and slow play. And Paladin's just going to be so aggressive.
Yeah, so he's going to do what I suggested, but he's going to do it with the Loot Hoarder. He's going to give him that Divine Shield and that taunt. So at this point, I think Mike double trades and pushes 5 to face. And I don't think he needs to play this Mech Warper this turn.
He can just go ahead and re-equip the Rallying Blade and make a 1/1 with his hero power.
Let's see. He's gonna play the Mech Warper. It's the problem with Craig now is he's
top decking.
Yeah, he's top decking. He's got no cards. He's got I don't know. Does he have card draw in this list? I haven't looked at the list really.
Let me look and see what he's got. He really has no, except for Kangor's just going to bring back stuff,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to draw.
So
Call to arms maybe to refill, but
I kind of like this. I don't know about the
Vanish?
Vanish, man. I kind of would have liked him to play the Enter the Coliseum. He would have still been taking, but he probably was worried about that 5 damage anyways at that point, right?
well,
So,
Craig was he had lethal potentially this turn.
yeah, but the Enter the Coliseum was that. What he would have worried about is having something with like Leroy, right, in creating lethal.
So he just refills the board again.
And I don't see how he gets out of this.
He is running the Necrium Blade for the death rattle.
Yeah. I don't see anything that's going to
Save him.
Yeah.
So Craig can place 4, 6, 8, 10,
Yes.
11, 14 damage next turn with the Rallying Blade.
No. Trust me.
Oh, that's smart. That gets him a little bit of life back.
It doesn't get him anything yet because that it's
I
gonna.
thought it was gonna destroy it.
No, it
it
kills.
saved them all.
Yeah, it kills everything besides the highest attack minion for each player. So he's just gonna go face, drop a mad scientist, equip a rally.
Hero power probably.
Yeah. So I kind of at this point I don't know if I'm Mike if. Do I play the Necrium Blade and then like re-equip a dagger just to get the extra
Kill it
healing?
off?
Yeah. This Sylvan.
That way you can use it twice.
Yeah. Even then, he's still in a lot of trouble.
I'd get him 8 health back. Put him at
Yeah.
13. He's in a really awkward position, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is not easy for him to fight back with this board. So
Eye for an eye is not going to do him very much good.
no, because it doesn't
guess.
matter.
Come. Try.
I like this. I like this a lot, actually. It's gonna get him that extra healing. Oh, and that dirty rat
Dirty
is
rat.
gross. That was bad for Mike. That was really bad for Mike.
No. Trust me.
And he's got, Craig's got 2, 4, 5, 8 on board. And he's not going to have lethal still, but I don't know how Mike's going to recover from this. I mean, if I'm Craig, you have to kill that Sonya. But
Yeah, he's not running anything to buff his Silverhand recruits, so
yeah. And nothing in Mike's hand is going to keep him alive right now, so we'll see what he draws here this next turn.
SI7 agent, he can do 2 damage.
Yeah. I think that's gonna spell the end times for Mike this game.
He does run the Augmented Elic, though. So.
Yeah, I do love the Augmented Elic in these decks. It's just fun to double up stuff like that. Like, you do it with the Spider, with the Feldori Strider. Yeah. I think, Mike, you need to hit the bottom right corner.
He's going to get some help.
Yeah.
He can't trigger it. Now he can. There he
Yeah.
goes. So he's going to go back up to 11 if he kills it off.
Yeah, and he needs to. And he's gonna play that SI7 agent. He's gonna trade this.
Craig does get a redemption off of that.
And so he's got 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and then he's gonna get this call to arms. So maybe you just trade 3 of these silver hands off into that SI, and play the call to arms. And
He's
he's
going to trade 2 of them off, it looks like.
yeah. and just even making his board even harder for Mike to deal with.
Yeah, that's the problem with Rogue. It doesn't really have a lot of removal,
Nope.
except for Fan of Knives, and you can bounce things back to the opponent's hand.
Yeah, you get Rogue is really good at dealing with one minion or a couple minions, but when you start having wide boards, you have things like Vanish, but Vanish isn't a long-term solution. Vanish is a temporary solution. And it looks like Mike's going to give up.
All right, so Craig takes an early 1-0 lead.
Yep. I really like that deck that Craig brought, or that Mike brought, but it's one of those things where it's kind of memey, and Craig bought a more serious memey deck. It's just like aggro, aggressive, good stuff Paladin. That's what you call any deck that isn't odd Paladin or even Paladin now. It's just like good stuff Paladin. As long as it's not a control deck, right? So...
Now, I think Mike needs to go ahead and queue up a different deck because Craig knows what's in the Rogue deck as far as strategically wise.
Yeah, because that's part of the thing is that he knows that like he can bring another deck that would counter that deck, right? So it's a bigger advantage for Mike to play something different this time. But also a lot of times people are just like, I lost with this and I want to win with this deck. I feel like Mike's deck is way more reliant on RNG to win, though, so it might be a struggle to get a victory with that one. I've told him ready to go, so let's see what happens and see what they both queue up.
All right.
Okay. So... Craig went to his warrior, and Mike has switched up to his druid. We see a juicy sight melon, so that means he's playing druid, but don't see anything else here. This is actually not a good match for Mike, it looks like. If he's playing something like, unless he's playing Togwaggle, if he's playing something like Starliner Druid, he's in a lot of trouble because Warrior can often just out-armor your combo.
I'm not sure if this is the list that Danny Donuts was playing very early on when Starliner first came out or not that Craig's running.
Yeah,
it looks very similar.
Here.
He's got Aviana, so we still don't know. It could be either one. Yeah. Togwaggle or Starliner.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, that's why I said it's Druid at this point.
Ferocious Howl.
Here, give me 1 second, sir. Keep casting. I'll be right back.
All right, Rod. Oh, weapons project there. Craig's going to just armor up. Move on, see if we can identify any more about Mike's deck here. He is running the Wrath, so that's a little interesting.
Okay, I'm back. I had a small puppy running around my downstairs causing trouble, so I had to pick him up, so... Yes, so Mike's not running
he's got the Wrath, so that's a little weird.
That kind of makes me think he's playing Togwaggle, but some of the Starliner lists are running Wrath just to cycle and to deal up to counter aggro. So it'll be interesting, like we said, we don't know what he's running. We didn't see these lists.
So Craig's played the Death Lord. He's probably going to have to kill it off himself.
Yeah, that's when you're running these combo lists as Druid, you just kind of ignore the Death Lord because
Mike's hand's a little full to be able to use that Psych Melon with the coin.
But he's going to do it anyways, and we'll see what combo he's running.
He's already got Aviana, so
yeah,
we'll see what he gets for a team. He gets...
Oh, he's running Malygos with the...
Loop Sprayer.
Yeah,
Aha.
That's interesting, for sure.
Coon.
Yeah, Mike's brought some spice this week, like we said, man. So this Death Lord, I'm assuming that Mike has Faceless Manipulators in this list, maybe, too. But I'm not sure. There's
The thing is that Death Lord's not going to pull too much to hurt Mike, but when Craig draws into his Dirty Rats...
Yeah, it is. He's got his main combo pieces, but Craig
That
is
Gloop sprayer.
Craig is
That
gonna
would be
yeah, Craig's gonna have to be wary though. He's gonna have to make sure that he's gonna have to stay out of range of things like Starliner health. So he'll know that, and he'll start. He needs to armor up almost every turn if he can at this point. That Gloop sprayer is spicy tech though. I like that a lot. It makes fun because that card is super powerful, especially when he costs 1 mana instead of 8.
8. Especially if you can get a Malagos and a Faceless Manipulator and put that in between, then you've got 4 Malagos.
Yeah, that's a lot of friggin' Malagoses. I don't know. What's the plural of Malagos?
Malagese.
Malagese. Silly Malagese. Yeah. I don't know.
So he should play the Ferocious Howl, maybe? Get some
Why?
armor.
Did he play that just to get cards out of his
He's
hand?
creating, I think he's creating hand space is what he's doing, because he's going to play it for 1
I don't know why he's doing this though.
and
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have just played those Ferocious Howls. Is he at 10 cards? It looks 1.
He's 9.
Okay.
And Craig can execute here and try and see if he can pull a combo piece. His own minion.
I don't know if Craig's going to do that, though, because it's worth a thought, but he knows he's already played a Juicy Psych Melon, and so it might not be worth it at this point, because he probably has his main combo pieces at this point anyways. But, yeah, it would have been a consideration for me, for sure. And he could wrath this Apple Bomb instead of this Death Lord. I don't think Mike is gonna have any board presence until he goes on his combo. That was an interesting thought. Mike did wrath for 3 instead of 2.
That way he can go ahead and play the swipe
Yeah.
next turn and clean it up.
I'm wondering what he's gonna do. I don't even know if he wants to save the swipe for his combo though. We haven't.
I don't know what else he's got though,
We
but his hand is filling up rather quickly.
We see a Moonfire, and Mike hasn't ramped at all this game. He hasn't got any ramp at all.
There's a Living Roots.
I kind of like just dropping this Spreading Plague because Mike's not in any any health risk. And his hand is so clunky. That's when you go with these bigger Druid combos, your hand can get real full real fast. And it's why a lot of these bigger combo lists don't even run UI because it can just fill up your hand.
It just clogs up your hand space.
Yeah.
There's a ramp card.
Yep. He can play that next turn to go up to 9. Again, I think he just... I don't know, man. You don't have any need to do anything else right now, but you need to get something out of your hand, and he's gonna drop one of this Living Roots and use some of it.
Just clean up the Apple Bomb with it at least.
I don't know. I don't like that at all because you're using your damage from your combo. He has his combo pieces. I don't think he needs to use this Living Roots.
But his hand is so full. I mean, he has to use something.
Yeah.
And that's about the only option he has, looking at what he's got.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. We don't know the rest of his...
I don't know if I'd have gone face with it, though.
Yeah. At this point, he's got his combo pieces. I feel like, so maybe there is a Faceless Manipulator somewhere in there that he's trying to hold on to and doesn't want to drop. But...
Craig's not super concerned about gaining armor every turn. He's going to opt for every 1 in 4 or 5 turns.
Yeah. Which may be... This because he's... I'm assuming he's guessing that this deck is either a Starliner or Togwaggle. The Malagos has kind of fallen out of favor for Druid and Wild. It's not the common deck you see on the ladder.
It's just a little too slow.
Yep. And I don't know what... I think Mike's Mike's
Got another Moonfire.
He's got to nourish. I think he's got to nourish and pass. Like, I don't know what else he does at this point. He doesn't have anything that means anything to him long term. He's at so much health that he doesn't care about the 6 damage he's taking here. And he does nourish. He goes up to 9 mana, which means he will have 10 mana next turn. The one thing that I'm curious about is, does he have more combo pieces? He's gonna
cycle with Psych Melon. I don't know if he does or not. We'll see.
Nope.
No, it didn't draw anything. So Craig has to know he's got his whole combo now.
Yep.
Because he's played both of the Psych Melons and it didn't draw anything on the second one.
Yep. So often when you have like a Starliner Druid, that second Psych Melon can do something like draw your other Starliner.
Starliner.
Right? Yep. But it doesn't. If you're playing something like Togwaggle, it does nothing, right? Usually, so let's see what he does. It looks like he's gonna Warpath to. Is he gonna Warpath to kill his own Deathlord?
He's gonna attack now. He almost made a mistake of not attacking.
Yep. See if he could pull something out of the deck if there's anything left.
I mean, it's a little late for that, but
Yeah.
that's about all he's got, and he's going to save the executes.
Craig's got a kind of clunky hand also, so see if he pulls anything.
Let's see what he pulls.
Oh, the Floop is there.
Floop. So that doesn't give him any more information at all, really,
Yeah.
because Starliner runs that as well.
Yeah.
Floop is run in Togwaggle Druid as well.
Yep. So let's see
There's
if
a
Mike
little-
goes off. There's a lot, like...
If he doesn't go off this turn, then Craig knows he's either waiting on maybe Bran, because he can't do enough damage to kill him
Yeah.
off. He does have the Branching Pass to be able to armor up some more.
Yeah, he hasn't seen... but the thing that I think he is going to clue in Craig that this wasn't a typical Starliner... Why... What are you doing there, What are you doing there, Mike? What?
He's...
What? What?
Why did he go backwards?
Mike, what are you doing, dude? Mike,
Oh, this brawl is going to get so much value here.
Mike, why did you do that? Oh my God, he screwed
He
up.
misplayed, I think, because I think he needed to play the Aviana first.
Yeah,
It's really...
oh, Craig, Mike, that is not good. You just lost your whole combo, and he's gonna concede here. Maybe he's not. Oh, Craig, Mike. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He revealed so much information in what he's playing when Craig cues into that again, though.
yeah, that was a painful. I mean, I know I've done that before. I've done something like I've
accidentally got the armor instead of refreshing my crystals before.
I've done the whole where I've tried to combo off when I only have 9 mana, and I go, oh crap, I can't play anything else, and I've dropped the Eviana and go, oh no, I'm in lots of trouble now. So that is something. Oh, Craig, man, Mike's gonna feel so silly at that point. Oh, and I know how he feels, man. I know how he feels. Oh, that is not good.
So Craig takes a 2-0 lead. He has his Shaman left, which looks like Taylor Eve's Shutterwalk Shaman from this week's episode of Into the Wild.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that yet. I was so busy all week, I didn't get to listen to that many podcasts. So
No, maybe not, because there's a crushing hand in there. It might be a little different.
You could probably text something out or whatnot. Mike needs to give himself a victory here at this point, though. Oh, okay. Mike had to go to the bathroom
Oh.
or something. He said he had to be right B.
All right, it looks like they're queuing up.
Okay.
So let's see if he brings the Druid again. No, he moves on to Warrior. Baleful Banker. So it looks like Mike is running some kind of control warrior, possibly. I believe that's a reckless Fury all the way to the right there.
I wonder if this is just odd warrior. He's
Because I
got,
see 133.
yeah. It's a lot of the standard kind of odd warrior cards. Looks like Eve's build that you guys talked about. Similar.
All right, there's at least. So it's most certainly probably an odd warrior.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I've seen from Mike is in kind of the standard odd warrior right now, too. So, so what is the end game with this deck, Looney?
For which one? For Craig?
Yeah, for Craig's deck. Is he just trying to build up a massive board of Shutterwalks, or is he
Well,
trying?
no, because he doesn't have the Nazoth, so it's a little weird and awkward actually, because I don't even see any of the life drinkers.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what Craig's doing here.
And that's one of these things, you get into these matches in these 3-game series where you have to win all 3 games with all 3 decks.
I do know normally in standard this is an unfavored matchup for the warrior.
Yeah.
Because of the style that they run.
Unless the warrior is running Azalina, and a lot of these lists are running Azalina, because with the Azalina you could steal your opponent's hand and go off with Shutterwalks.
It is possible, but it's still really difficult.
Yeah.
That matchup. I've played it quite a few times and it doesn't really work out.
I could be wrong. Mike's list is looking kind of standard.
It looks all standard so far.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Craig's going to play Serenite. So that should be an indication to Mike that he's probably running some kind of Shutterwalk.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this affects how Mike plays this match. So, what does Craig want to do here? His hand is kind of awkward. He can Zola, but I don't think he really wants to do that. Maybe he just Ancestral Knowledge. His hand is getting kind of full too. He's got 9 cards in his hand.
And the majority of them are spells.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like Zola-ing the Serenite, but I don't know. It looks like he's thinking about crushing hands, and he is.
He don't want. Well, he's not running Grumble, so he can hero power if he needs to.
Yeah. I want to see what kind of wild inclusions Mike has in his
He's
deck.
got Lowe.
Yeah, there is a Lowe. Lowe, the card that is everywhere and does everything.
Yeah, this is not Taylor's list because there's no
Yeah.
Lowe. There's nothing in there.
I was chatting with him when he was starting it up, and he said it was whose list it was, but he said it's similar to Taylor's. Dr. Evil. Let's see.
I guess you just go. He looks like he's going Zola.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea for Shutterwalk because it gets you more chances to proc your Shutterwalk.
And he's relying on the Zola to get more Shutterwalks in hand because he's not running the Grumble.
Oh, and he steals that Zola.
Zola. That's really not that detrimental to him, though.
Yep. It is not. He got what he wanted out of it. There's lots of weld blades being shot out by both players.
And Craig's the one known for BMing most of the time, but he's been pretty quiet this match so far.
So where did
this whole series?
Did he just? Okay, I was confused. Oh, he got it from the Stonehill. He picked up this Hungry Atten. I like the Hungry Atten, but that card can blow up in your face with some of the things that could pop out your opponents, like things like Doomsayers. And Craig's going to use a Maelstrom Portal here. I like the Zealous Initiate. It's a good card just to buff up on your minions a little more.
And Craig's got 2 minions in hand. 1 minion in hand now.
So
Shutterwalk's going to get the buff, maybe.
I think at this point he wants to put enough pressure, and I was gonna say he wants to get Mike to use this brawl, so he has to worry less about it with Shutterwalks later on, and maybe Mike realized that, and because it looked like he had been thinking about using it and decided not to.
Craig can clean up the board when he knocks out 2 of them Divine Shields.
I kind of like
that Lightning Storm.
Trading the Initiate into one of them, but it looks like he's thinking about devolving. Yeah, I don't know if that's necessary yet. The Lightning Storm I don't think is going to get much more value later on. I kind of like doing that. I would trade first though.
First, yeah.
Yeah, trade this. Yeah, Initiate into someone, and yeah, I like that a lot. And then now use this Lightning Storm. He doesn't need to totem first because it's gonna kill everything anyways, and he already has a spell power totem. And then just hit him in the face a couple times and pass. He doesn't. I don't. Maybe he plays his ancestral knowledge, but he doesn't need to. He's already got 2 overload for next turn, so maybe he just does this and passes. I don't even think he needs a totem. He doesn't need the totems clogging up his board.
No.
Yeah,
and he's not really running a lot of minions either.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 2 Baleful Banker, or 1 Baleful Banker, a Blood Mage, Thalnos.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting because this Hagatha he just picked up.
Clear up his board.
Yeah, it clears up his board, so he's not going to want to play that anyways. And what does Hagatha want? Hagatha wants you to have minions on your board, so because he wants you to be able to play minions. So he doesn't have much of that either.
We're going to say Hungry Etna and possibly Hero Power. I mean, there's nothing really for him to use that Shield Slam on. There's not a big threat.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason to worry.
Craig can Hex that and clear it off pretty easy. Continue to push the face damage if he wanted to.
I like
or he
that.
can devolve it. You never know what you're going to get with the devolve, though.
I think the Hex is a better use. Like, it's 1 minion. I don't know.
Not a lot of value there.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that. Like you said, I think that was not necessary. So this Baleful Banker is a good draw though because it can give him the ability to get another Shutterwalk if necessary.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's trading.
I guess he's going to use the mouse. No, he's not going to use the Maelstrom. So why did he trade?
I don't know. I don't
He
know.
wants to keep that armor total down.
You want Mike using his your removal resources. You want him doing that so you could build that board up because this is what he wants to do in this match. He wants to keep, and this is why I didn't like that devolve, because the devolve would have prevented given it so he could do this later on. But now he could hex that hatchling if he wants. Just so
he's got enough mana, he can use that. Yeah. Elemental Destruction, but that'll clear his board as well.
I like the hex. I like the hex on the
Direhorn.
Yeah, just because it prevents Mike from putting more cards back into his deck. And this is why we talked about it last time. That's why him devolving 1 minion was not as good of a use of his.
Now it looks like he's going to go ahead and trade and hack it.
Yeah. I don't hate it. It's the problem is going to be now is his hand is really full. No, he's not.
Well,
he's thinking about Lightning Bolt. Now he's going back to Hagatha. The problem is going to be with Hagatha is that it's going to keep his hand really full, and he's going to drop a 7 mana Maelstrom, which isn't bad.
And that's going to cycle that Direhorn back into Mike's deck. Which is what you don't want to do.
Shifter
Zerus.
I love Shifter Xeris. Too bad he's terrible. That card is fun though. Like I've played Shifter Xeris in some like Reno Priest lists at times.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Sleepy Dragon.
Craig's not
No, not now.
He's not putting any pressure on like.
And he did draw that
The matriarch. Yeah, right away.
Very next.
And this is why we're talking about it. It's you don't want those. The 3/6 is kind of unassuming. It's the 6/9 that comes out next that's kind of a pain to deal with. So we'll see what happens. Is he thinking about Volcano? So he's got 12, 14. He can Volcano and clear the board. Because it's 16 damage with that spell power totem. That's 12, 14. Oh, so he'd be one off. So he just trades the Xeris in and then he can.
And then goes ahead and does it.
Yeah. It's just, this hand is awkward for Craig. It's like nothing he really, really wants to do. That's why I would trade
first.
Yeah, trade first. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
There we go. Now we can do the Volcano.
Always little time.
It's 9 butt is so much butt to get through that it's that's why you kind of want to deal with those, transform those dire horn hatchlings if you can. And another interesting thing is Mike insta plays that Sleepy Dragon. He just gotten his Dr. Boom, and I kind of would have liked that Dr. Boom instead, just to start getting value off that card. But that's just me. But he does get a Hex to come out from Craig, so that's.
I've not seen a lot of mechs in Mike's deck yet, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I believe he had an Omega Assembly that he shuffled back into his hand at the beginning.
Yeah, why didn't he play Dr. Boom? Is he just planning on doing the long-term armor game plan?
It's the way we're looking. I mean, that Reckless Fury is a dead draw, so he's got 2 clogged up slots in his hand now. You don't ever want to play those. I mean, not with 21 armor.
No, I just don't know why he's not playing Dr. Boom, because he's getting his hand even more clogged up. The Dr. Boom is something that you gain value with it over time. You're getting 7 armor, you're discovering mechs, and just...
He's going to play this before the Baleful?
Yeah, because he could Shutterwalk and then Baleful 1 back if he needs to.
Yes, he can put it in his deck.
Yeah. And I like this because he did it before the
Hagatha?
Yeah. Because he hasn't needed the Hagatha to put more pressure on him, and he puts that additional Shutterwalk back in his deck, which I really like. And it's going to be, every time he plays a Shutterwalk now, he's going to get that Baleful bouncing, hopefully a Shutterwalk, which is really, really gross if you think about it, right?
We're probably going to see the Brawl here to clean up this board.
I would think so, but it's not going to really buy him that much in the long run, right? Because he's got another Shutterwalk in his hand. And
another Shutterwalk in the deck.
Yep.
And he's only got 7 cards left in the deck, so chances are pretty good he's going to draw it pretty soon.
I've watched a lot of Mike's games in both this and UHL. I think that he's often too conservative with his resources, which is it's hard when you're playing these control decks. I
would shield slam and clean that up too.
Yeah, you don't want any more there, but man, Mike's putting himself into a corner not using this this Dr. Boom too. I feel like it would have been given him more options.
That's one of the real problems with playing Odd Warrior, or it's one of the critical decisions is when do you play Dr. Boom and give up the hero power of gaining the 4 armor and go on the aggression.
So when you're playing against things like Maligos Druid or something that you know is trying to OTK you, it's often like, okay, I need to build up as much armor as possible, but That's not what Craig's game plan is. Craig's
Oh, he
game...
left that on the board.
And we get some well played from Craig's. And he's going to be having a lot of very large Shutterwalks hitting him in the face here.
So he's got 2 Shutterwalks in his deck, another one in his hand.
It's just Craig's never going to run out of resources. Like, he's only going to have so many. As long as he maintains some hand space, he's never going to... He's never going to be able to, like, he's never going to run out of resources because he's going to get more Shutterwalks in his hand every turn and then be able to put more out there.
The only way he can clean up this whole board is Reckless Flurry, and that is not... Oh, he's got one more Brawl there. That's not the play you want to make.
Nope. This a lot of it, you go back to... What would have happened if you would have cleared up that extra Shutterwalk? I don't think it would have changed much, but...
He saves the Shield Slams.
This, I like this tech a lot, too. The Echoing Ooze.
Echoing Ooze?
Yeah. It's just giving him more Shutterwalks. It's doing the same thing as the Serenite Changang, right? So, man, he is just going... This is an infinite without the silly... Life Drinker combo.
Just continues to build a board up.
Yeah. I mean, it's just as hard for Mike to deal with, but man, this is gross. Like, he literally can't out-resource. He can't out-resource Mike. I mean, Mike can't out-resource Craig is what I meant to say.
Yeah, he can't put him into fatigue at
Yeah.
all. He's gonna mind control tech.
Man, this is just... It's frustrating for Mike, right? Because he brings this deck that's, like, meant to, you know, control his opponents, and it's just going... He's shield slamming now, and I don't know how much that's going to buy him here.
Because you know it's just gonna build another board next turn.
Yep. He can't... Again, this is infinite combo, and it's infinite board combo, which is so hard to deal with.
Well, Craig does have a full hand.
Yeah.
So he'll get one Shutterwalk back, and then he'll burn a card.
I actually kind of...
Played both the Echoing Oozes is probably
Yep.
the smart play. Get him out of your hand.
Yep. And
Maybe burn the Healing Rain.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. I was like, he has no reason. He could even just drop this Lightning Storm, but then that's going to it's gonna give him what do you call overload next turn, so he's not gonna do that. Those oozes that seemed to lag a little bit. That was weird. This list is evil, man. just infinite Shutterwalks. And I don't know. See, why would have liked Mike playing the Dr. Boom earlier? He would have been gaining additional resources the whole time, you know? We may be here for a while because even with these Shutterwalks...
So there's 60.
Yeah. Aw, man.
I guess you just run all this in and pass.
Do you Healing Rain? I kind of feel like he Healing Rain.
You probably need. Well, he's gonna clean up the board with Agatha.
Oh, I don't like that though, because then I guess it doesn't matter at that point because
he's only gonna play one Shutterwalk.
Yeah.
He'll bounce one back to his hand and put one in his deck,
Yeah.
and he'll gain a spell.
Yeah. So he's gonna have to deal with hand congestion at this point, which he's been.
Now Mike plays the Omega Assembly. Gets the 3.
Yeah.
He's got a Curator. Oh, it's a mech. He pulled that off there.
Yep. I love the Curator. Such a cool card.
The only problem is his hand's clogged up. If he's got anything in there, he could...
Yeah. There's your Ysera.
And a Baku.
Baku.
Baku is a beast.
Yeah. And this is gonna get Mike 3 armor, but the Shutterwalk's just gonna clear up the the Eternium rover, and the curator's gonna take half its life total. Is he gonna hex the curator? See, the thing with Craig too is he's not in any hurry, man. Mike's putting no pressure on him.
He's got plenty of time.
He's got plenty of time, and he's got infinite resources. He's got 4 cards left in his deck, and most of those are Shutterwalks, if not all of them are Shutterwalks.
Now he can just play the elemental destruction. Oh, he's still gonna hex. He could have done a 4 to 5 to all, and well, he would have overloaded 5.
I think he's trying to get rid of cards in his hand, regardless of how inefficient it is, and he's trying not to play overload because he wants to play another Shutterwalk here. And so he's down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. So
2 Shutterwalks in hand now.
yeah.
He's gonna put another one back in his hand, most likely, and another in the deck.
More Shutterwalks, and they're all so golden.
And another one.
Yeah, see, this is the problem with Hagatha. Once you start having a full hand like this, it's you're like clogging up everything, and without the grumble to reduce the cost, you're limiting the amount of Shutterwalks you can play every turn. So we'll see what Mike does this turn.
I mean, he's got the Super Collider, so he can clean up 2 of those.
Man, this feels like this is going to be turn after turn of Mike trying to do. I have no idea, just to get things out of his hand.
And then the Dynamatic, he's trying to get value off that Omega Assembly, it looks like.
Yeah.
He's looking for options.
And
Oh, he just gives up. Well, Craig takes a definitive series there, 3-0.
Yep. And so we're going to do Mike is going to lose that series. It was sorry, wrong one. So that was a really exciting series. It was just Craig's decks kind of just countered what he was trying to do. So let me add these 2 into this call.
All right.
Can Mike? Okay. Okay. Are you guys there? Craig, that smile, man. Craig, that smile. Congratulations there, Craig. Craig's doing a little dance. He's a happy man. Where's
I don't hear any audio yet, but
yeah, I don't hear your. Are you muted, Craig? There you go.
I was indeed muted.
So where's Mike? Did Mike? He's coming.
I feel bad.
he just sent a message says he has to run to work in an hour. Sorry.
Well, it's all right. I can just tell him my victory speech.
Oh, dude, that Shutterwalk deck, man, is gross. It is just nasty. It is the whole, like, yeah, you're never going to do anything because I'm going to just have infinite amounts of Shutterwalks on the board.
Yeah, it felt really good. And, like, once I got 3 into my deck, I felt really good because then, like, I didn't have to worry. You know what? Looking back, I didn't have to worry about Dirty Rat anyway. But at the time, I was worried about Dirty Rat.
Yep. Yeah.
He was playing an even or a odd warrior, so there was no Dirty Rat.
Yeah, I just figured that out now. I remember I said that in the beginning of the game, but then towards the end of the game, I'm like, okay, I need to play around Dirty Rat.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? Stonehill Defender.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, and we have to say, man, I think Mike got excited that second game where he had the combo in hand and played the combo pieces backwards. And we're like, no, Mike, no. That feels bad, man.
Yeah, did he have enough to finish me off?
It was close. He had a couple of moonfires, but he would have had way more. And you had pulled that
Floop.
out. So that was part of it. But man, it was close, and I think it would have been close. But yeah, I think he got excited.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I've been there with simulacrum last week.
Craig, it was good games though, sir. Those were fun, and it was good to see you playing them so well. That Shutterwalk deck was just gross when it started going, dude. So,
Yeah, I found that last night on Tezmezit's, I think it was Tezmezit's Twitter. That I never thought about echoing use in Shutterwalk, and I love that card so much. I feel like I could have closed the game out a little sooner, but I really wanted to get the full echoing ooze combo going, so I waited a little bit longer.
Well, I mean, you were so smart with the Hagatha, because you didn't need to use Hagatha, and so you just kind of kept her in there. And I think you had the game wrapped up by the time you played Hagatha. Like, you weren't in any necessary urge to play her, but you did it so well, man. So.
Yeah, at the end but I didn't want to play her unless I had to, and then I figured if I want to go full out meme and play the Echoing Oozes, I'll have to get rid of them with Hagatha.
I mean, Echoing Ooze is like kind of like a really strong card, because it does the same thing as the Serenite Chain Gang, right? It's giving you, except for half the mana, right? It's 2 mana for the Echoing Ooze, right? So.
Yeah, and I think it's just a good card. It's good to have more early game in the deck, even though it's just 1/2s. It still helps. So I love that deck. Like, I never seen that deck before until this week, and I was pumped to find it. I was a little bummed out because I opened Golden Thrall last night with the bundle, and I couldn't play it, and I just couldn't risk playing it in that deck. But oh well, another time.
Yeah, you didn't need it, man. It was infinite Shutterwalks is enough to win.
So many Shutterwalks.
He makes.
Yeah. So, Craig, those were good games, man, and you're piling up a pretty decent record for yourself here in the league. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I felt like for a while it was going poorly, and then now I think I'm positive now. I think I'm 2-2 now.
Nice.
Or 3-1. I can't remember. One of the two.
Well,
Taylor beat me.
Taylor beat everyone, dude. You guys.
Yeah, I know. I don't feel bad. Notice how she hasn't played Nate yet? You think that was a little strategic on the commissioner's part?
I don't think even Nate realized what kind of wrecking ball she was going to be when she came into the league. So.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. Not that I never underestimated her, but I didn't overestimate her, or I didn't estimate her properly. So I guess I did underestimate her, but I just assumed she was going to be good, not the undefeated queen, who I think has lost like 1 game out of every single game she's played, and obviously hasn't lost a match. So I'm impressed.
Yep. Okay, Craig, are there any other questions you have, Looney, for him?
No, I think we've covered it all.
Okay, sir. Well,
and before I go, I'd like to tell everyone that I can make my bottom lip touch my nose. Rod, can you confirm this?
I can, and he can, and he is a. It must be. It's a Canadian thing, I guess. You look like a Muppet, Craig.
My girlfriend hates that. Anyway, follow me at Craig of Canada, CRAIG of Canada on the Twitter, and obviously check out Into the Wild, where we are finding out week by week what everybody's favorite donut is. Have a good night, gentlemen.
Bye, sir.
All right, take care, Craig.
Looney, you want to plug your stuff?
You can follow me at Shokunin_HS. That's SHOKUNIN_HS on Twitter. And that's all I have, Ron.
Okay, and I'm on Twitter at Rod_Johnston, and my Twitch is twitch.tv/Rod_Johnston. And I have my Hearthstone podcast, which is Tier 5. So thanks for coming out, everybody. Another great week of Into the Wild League, and it was a blast. So we will catch everyone next time.